This is the podcast overview for week 7. We will be covering chapter 4, consciousness. Here is your to-do list for the week. As you'll notice, we are now in chapter 4, so we covered 5 and now we're going back to 4 out of order there. And then you're also going to be reading Hawk reading number 2.2, which is To Sleep, No Doubt to Dream. Deals with the different sleep cycles and the purpose of dreams, at least according to the different theories. So those are the readings, your lecture slides, discussion, a quiz, and an exam. So let's just give this a quick overview. You can listen to the podcast of the objectives for chapter 4 here, where I go over each one of these different areas and elements that you'll be responsible for in your reading, your lecture slides. And again, you want to watch the lecture slides in presenter mode so that you can get all the videos that are embedded there. You have a video on consciousness. It's one of the crash course videos. And then a video on sleep and dreams. So this is great because it encompasses the two main areas of the chapter, which is talking about the different states of consciousness and altered states of consciousness, like dreams. What are the purpose of dreams? Why do we have them? What happens to us when we're sleeping and we dream? So I think you'll find these very interesting, and I would watch these before you start reading the chapters for this week. And then you have another video on altered states. So this could be the additional states that our brain can be in when we are under hypnosis, or we are affected perhaps by like a hallucinogenic drug. So any altered state that's a different state of consciousness, not related to sleep. So go ahead and watch those videos, do the readings, and then you'll be ready to contribute to the discussion. And this week, you're really diving into more of what Hawk talks about in terms of sleepwalking. So this is an interesting sort of carve out for the readings this week. Where there's been a lot of research on what happens to us when we sleepwalk. What's going on in our brain? Do we know what we're doing when we're sleepwalking? Are we fully conscious, and what does that look like? So you're going to be reading some of the research in that area. And once you do that, you should be able to answer this question pretty well. Although, some are going to be swayed more than others by the research. But according to the research, should sleepwalking be a valid defense for a crime as serious as murder? And what about other crimes? So if somebody commits a murder under the auspices of sleepwalking, what do you think about that? What does the research say about that? Is it even possible to commit a murder while sleepwalking? And if you did so, would you know that you did it? Okay, so it's kind of a fun question this week. And then what kind of evidence then should be required to convince a jury that a crime was committed while sleepwalking? Like what kinds of things would a defense attorney have to present to prove that a person could commit such a crime while sleepwalking? So you're going to see, does the research support this? And then lastly, aside from the sleepwalking research, you're going to be looking at, are our dreams just a way for our unconscious thoughts to be played out? So in other words, do our dreams mean something? Do they have a meaning? Is there a purpose for them? Or are they just the result of neural firings during sleep? So there's two kind of main camps of theory there. One being kind of the Freudian camp of that our dreams mean something. They're hidden, latent content that we don't let out when we're asleep, and it only comes out when we're conscious. It only comes out when we're asleep. and that is our dreams. The other camp is kind of comes from the neuropsych camp of that, well, wait a minute, let's look at what the brain is doing when we're sleeping. What are the neurons doing? And does that explain anything? So those are the two questions pertaining to sleepwalking, and then one question pertaining to dreams. And I think definitely it will help to watch these videos. And definitely you got to have the readings done, because as you're responding to these, you want to fully support what you're saying by citing not only the Hawk reading, but also the text reading. You have a quiz on the chapter on consciousness, and then the exam is going to cover chapters 4 and 6, and will be 30 multiple choice questions worth 1 point each. So that wraps up the week. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, everybody.